Hello again, I am Jim Bobber and welcome to another episode of our Williams career on F1 Manager 22. We're in Season 2, Round 12. We're heading to the Paul Ricard circuit in France. And I got a good feeling about this circuit, I have to say. I think we could do really, really well here. And it's an important race as well. It's our second home race of the season. Obviously, we've had Williams home Grand Prix at Silverstone. Now it's time for the engine suppliers home Grand Prix. It's time for Renault's home race, and not only that, both our drivers are French as well. So a lot of importance on this race, I think. Definitely want a good result for both drivers if we can, but certainly for Pierre Gasly, who is doing very, very well in the drivers. As you can see, he's currently top of the Drivers' Championship by 34 points over Charles Leclerc. Teo down in 6th place, just 80 points so far to his name. As far as the teams go, we are second in the Constructors' Championship, and we are 48 points behind Ferrari. So a bit of work to do there. Although we are 50 points clear of Red Bull, which is nice. Mercedes a long way off in 4th. Alpha not too far behind them in 5th. Not quite how I thought this season was going to go, I have to say. We're doing better than I was expecting going into the season. And hopefully we can keep that going. How you doing, Mr. Water? How you doing, Farah? Good to see you both. Let's set our performance targets. Q3 is the incentive, that's not a problem. They want 2 drivers in, we should be able to do that, no problem at all. I'm going to go 2 drivers in the top 10, and both drivers obviously going to reach Q2. Fastest lap is the incentive, the guarantee. Finish position, we're going to go for a 2 in the top 10 again. And quali position streak. That should be easy to do, 2 in the top 14. Just need 1 more complete on that and we'll get $1 million for that, or 1.1 mil. We're going to set a new finish position streak guarantee, and we are going to go 2 drivers in the top 10. We're just going to go for the full 5. There we go, 3.18 mil. How you doing, Anthony? Good to see you. Right, there we go. That's our incentives and guarantees set. Let's just double check our car. Car analysis, you can see we are definitely slipping a little bit compared to where we were at the very beginning of the season, as we are being outdeveloped by some of the other teams. Our top speed has slipped a little bit, but we are very strong in medium and high speed corners, which make up the majority of this track. So we should have a very, very good race car around this track here. If we take a look at the track itself, there you can see the sections by speed. There's only a couple of really slow sections interspersed with some medium corners, which we are 3rd fastest on the grid at, so the 2nd fastest car, and a lot of high-speed corners. That whole end section, section 3 on the track there is very much, going to be to our advantage, I think. And even the start of sector 2, the blue zone there, coming out of turn 6 through turn 7, those are medium speed corners. We can get a very good launch through that corner across the DRS detection line, which is marked by the 1 in green there, and then get a really nice deployment of DRS down the straight through the hairpin, and then we rocket through into sector 3, which again is going to be a very strong sector for us. So yeah, I think we can do very, very well here. I am hopeful of a podium at least. Let's just double check our car development, see what's going on. We've got another chassis going to be completed tomorrow, so that'll give us a 4th chassis. We've got 1 spare at the moment, so we can afford to bin the car once today. Hopefully we won't, but we can afford to do that today, and then we'll get a replacement tomorrow. What else have we got going on right now? We've got a rear wing, 27 days out, and then 2 research projects that we've already started as well. Okay, so no upgrades coming for the next couple of races by the look of it, but I think we'll be good. So let's head off to France.
It's Grand Prix time here in Le Castellet. The very first horseless carriage race was organised in France in 1894. And since then, well, the carriages have only gotten faster. For the Grand Prix here, Paul Ricard boasts a fine collection of low, medium and high-speed corners. The seam curve is taken at breakneck speed, right before heavy braking at Beausset. This is an all-rounder test for cars and drivers alike. We're about halfway through the season now, and there's still plenty of time for everything to change. All eyes are on the teams and how they tackle the rest of the year. Let's get this underway.
Okay, so weather looks pretty good. We've got clear skies today for FP1 and FP2, a little bit cloudy for FP3 and quali, and then clear skies for the race itself. Oh, car parts missing. Oh, right, yeah, Teo had a crash, didn't he? I forgot about that. Okay. I completely forgot all about that. Right, let's see how many gearboxes he's got left. He's only got 2 gearboxes left, but they're both brand new gearboxes effectively. I mean, that one is at 99, that one's at 99 as well. So we can get away with using gearbox number 2 in practice, and then we've still got 2 for the races, and then eventually, you know, gearbox 4 will become our practice gearbox. So let's check our ERS. So that's not so good. We did do some hefty damage to the second ERS module. We've still got 2 more, so that'll be fine. I think we should be fine with that, and we've still got some life left in this one and a little bit more life left in that one as well, so we'll stick with that one there. Engine, I think we got away without too much damage. I mean, we did kind of batter that one a little bit, so it's at 50%. It's not great, but it'll do. We've got a little bit more life left in the first engine at the moment, so we'll stick with that. We do still have 2 very, very good engines here, and then 1 decent engine there, so it's not so bad. It could be worse. Right, car setup. My starting values. So we want a 5.5, an 11.5, a 6.4, a 3.05 and a 0 on that car. Run plan, I'm going to go with 19 laps. Driver plan, let's drop those down. As for Gasly, much healthier in terms of the engines, as you can see. We'll stick the first one in because we've got plenty of life left in that one for practicing. Second ERS module is almost new still. We're going to go with the first one for the practice. And then the gearbox again, that one's probably a little bit, yeah, that's a last resort use, that one there, so we'll stick with this gearbox here. Run plan we'll come to in a second. Let's get the car set up first. So I want a 5.5, an 11, a 3.7, a minus 3.5 and a 0.85. There we go. So 2 very different setups. Both have given me 100% previously. I don't know if that's going to work this time around, but we shall see. Let's go again with a 19 lap run. Drop the pace, etc. down. And we are ready to head off into practice.
Ready to check, can you hear me?
While I was busy checking that, apparently we had the sex bots come. Thank you very much for dealing with that Mr. Water. Much appreciated. Lots of cars heading out very early here at the session. Don't normally see that. Right, let's do the usual. There we go. And let's get them running. So let's deal with these set spots properly. There we go. Hidden from... Okay, there we go. You may hear some rattling in the background. My window is open, but it's a bit blustery outside. So it's an old rickety window, and it does tend to rattle a bit when the weather kicks up. Ironically, it's not the window that's open, it's the one that's closed. But yeah, wait for new windows. So I have had my refund from Sony for Football Manager 23. They have no information at all about a potential release date, which does not sound promising. So it could be quite a while before we see that on PlayStation 5, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes out for it, and we'll jump back on that again at some point, I would imagine.
We've just had a car run wide.
So, looking at the leaderboards here, the usual suspects at the top: Perez, Leclerc, Sainz.
How was the balance?
Ooh, that's not good, 69%. Verstappen's a little way off. Is he on different tyres? He's on mediums, but he should be further up. Must be on a long run. Vettel is looking pretty punchy up in fourth, if that is indeed an indicative time. Ocon's in ninth. That's not too far off, I suppose. Alpine are definitely going to be wanting a strong result here. It is their home Grand Prix.
What was the balance, please?
Uh, 76 on Pierre's car, so still a bit more work to do there as well. Okay, let's call them in a little early. I like to call the drivers in with around about 32 minutes left, so that it gives, because it takes between 4 and 5 minutes to turn the cars around, so it gives me a nice equal split of time across the runs.
Look at that! They've run wide!
Okay, so Gasly wasn't able to pit because reasons. I don't know why he just decided not to pit. I have noticed actually on this track that does happen an awful lot, where drivers just don't pit when you want them to. I've had a driver, I told him to pit and he went 3 laps before he pitted. It usually happens when it happens whenever he's in traffic, for whatever reason. If another driver is potentially shaping up for a move up the inside, or is just close behind him going through those final couple of corners, he just doesn't peel off for the pits and hugs the inside of the penultimate turn, which stops him from pitting in. It's annoying, it really is, but not a lot you can do about it, unfortunately. Let's swap this around, because that is obviously not good. We'll go with an 11 there. We'll keep the front wing there for a second. The roll bar definitely needs to change. I'm going to go with the 3.7. I'm going to actually switch this over to the setup that is currently on the other car and see if that works. So we want a 0.85 on here, so let me just double check that is the same. 5.5, 11, 3.7, 3.5, 0.85. So it's a good change on oversteer, braking, straights, a big change on traction, a small change on cornering. Yeah, I think this setup is going to be the 100% setup here. So fingers crossed. Let's confirm that change. Let's wait for Pierre to drag his ass back into the pits. No one around him this time, so he drives straight in. And this one needs to change, so let's do the same and swap this one over. So let's put Porsche's original starting setup on. So 5.5, 11.5, 6.4. Oh, actually no, it doesn't need to be that extreme, does it? Let's go 2.8. And then I just need a little tweak on the braking stability. I think that has the potential. How you doing, trucker? Okay, so both our boys are back out again. Verstappen has moved up the pecking order a little bit. It's up to 6th now. The Mercedes are looking pretty strong. Both the Alphas in the top 10. Ricciardo's up there again. He's been having a really good season, actually. It's amazing to see him consistently outperforming Norris, because normally this game, it's the other way around. Norris just absolutely wipes the floor with Ricciardo. But for whatever reason,
do you think you benefit from another set?
So, did we go straight to 100%? Oh, not quite. 197. That's a minor little tweak, and we can fix that. That's pretty good. Right. What about Gasly's car? Did we get that one to 100 with the changes?
How is the balance, please?
Oh dear, 75%. I think we might actually have made that car slightly worse. That's not good. Okay, yeah, a lot of work still needed on Pierre's car. We'll do that when we get back to the garage. Let them finish their runs.
It's a good session all in all, I think. Still learned a lot.
Right, so we did make the car worse, yeah. It's blue. That means it's not the best we've come up with yet. So, what do we need to change? The cornering needs to come in ever so slightly. So the easiest way to do that is with camber. That is also going to have an effect on the oversteer. I don't know if that's significant enough to actually make a change to our oversteer value. It might do. And obviously it changes the brake and stability, which we can correct with some tow. So we'll try that. If the oversteer value has been broken, then we can tweak the wing and the camber a bit more to try and get that back where it needs to be. We've got to be careful we don't break the straights in the process though. So let's go with some hard tyres. I'm going to go for a long-ish run. So 19 laps is just over half an hour. So let's go with 30 laps. Drop those down. Right, this needs a lot more work. Let's start by putting the tyres on before I forget. I'll do the run plan. So again, about 30 laps. And let's have a look. Yeah, we went the wrong way there. So the roll bar is very, very wrong. So that does need to be a 4.6. I need to pull that back. I might even potentially need to push the roll bar to a 5.5. The front wing is off, but the rear wing is still okay, I think. Yeah, rear wing's still okay. The toe is very wrong. Yeah, I don't think that roll bar's enough of a change. I'm going to go 5.5 on the roll bar. And I'm going to go there with the braking. So that has the potential now. Let's see how we do with that.
And radio check.
So this run will get them going for about 50 minutes of the session, just under. I'm probably going to call them in a little bit earlier than that, but I like to get them to at least 75% by the end of this session if I can.
Who's running wide there?
How have you been getting on with your first forays into the game there, Farah? Okay, 95% on Pierre. That's a big improvement of about 20%. It's almost there. Just waiting on Teo's feedback.
Okay,
so I didn't quite go far enough with the toe. We can make that little switch. That's fine. Looking at the leaderboards again, Vettel is right up there. Alpine might have brought a serious upgrade here. I mean, let's have a look at the tyres. He's running softs, same as the Red Bulls. He's within 0.3 of Perez, and he's only what 0.2 off Verstappen. He's quicker than Sainz, although Sainz is on hards. He's quicker than Alonso. Vettel seems to have found a bit of form. He could be one to watch in this Grand Prix. He could be a bit of a dark horse. Usual suspects still at the bottom of the table. The Aston Martins, the Haas. Norris is way down the order. Why is he so far down? He's on mediums, but he's slower than Joe at the moment. That seems a bit mad. Then Stroll, Ricardo, Bottas. Albon's doing a good job. He's up to 9th. I mean, again, it's practice times, so nothing is gospel here. But if this is a good indication of how the grid's going to look on quali, obviously we're yet to interject ourselves into that picture. But that's going to be a very interesting grid. Right, let's call these guys in. Save a little bit of work to do for the final session. Been too busy playing Yakuza to get your second quali out of the way. Okay, fair enough.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
Mr. Water, have you had any problems with your pad since you cleaned it? Or have you not used the pad yet? It's been a while now. It's been, what, at least a month since I gave you that link. Alright, end of the session. Ferraris 1 and 2, Red Bull 3 and 4, Alonso, Vettel, Hamilton, Bottas, Russell, Ocon. So both Ferraris, both Red Bulls, both Alphas, both Alpines and both Mercedes make up the top 10, and we need to insert ourselves into that picture somewhere. It's all working fine. Yeah, good to hear. I mean, like I said, it worked for me. You know, just giving it a nice
Our
clean
race
like
weekend continues as we head into FP3 and then qualifying. Time and time again, we see just how little separates the drivers as they complete their qualifying laps. Those who have pushed that little bit harder during qualifying can be rewarded with a grid place that sets them apart from their competitors going into the race. Hold on tight, because we're getting underway.
Saves you a hefty repair bill. Because you know Sony would charge an absolute fortune if you sent that in to be fixed. Right, final practice session. I need to get there with the toe. And that should be that done. Let's stick on some medium tyres. You know what? I might save. I might save the mediums and just use 2 more sets of softs. Well, use 1 set and send 1 set back. Softs don't tend to last very long on this circuit. Having an extra set of mediums in case of a safety car might be beneficial. I probably should have actually kept a second set of hards instead, but too late for that now. Yeah, this will only leave us 2 sets, but we can get through the first couple of sessions with only 1 set, I think. So yeah, let's go with softs. Let's save the mediums. So let's go with a 22 lap run. Should be more than enough. We've done the setup tweak. Let's change those over there. 95%. What do we need to tweak here? Just the toe, but we need to tweak it a fair bit. I'm gonna go there with the toe and see how that works. I might have gone the wrong way, but we'll find out. So again, we'll go with a 22 lap run just in case it's the right way. Call that down, and we are ready.
The radio is good? You can hear me, yeah?
Copy. There's nothing wrong with having a spare pad, Mr. Otter. I've got a spare pad as well, so you know, something a bit more substantial is the problem rather than just a quick cleaning. Then you've still got something you can use when you do something more. Speaking of pads, I would love to get that new DualSense Edge when it comes out next year in January, but I do not like that price. That is a little bit too rich for my blood. I've never had a Pro controller. I've always wanted one over the last sort of 4 or 5 years or so. Wanted a really good custom controller. But I've never really wanted one enough. And then when I started playing on the PS5 and getting back into the racing games a lot, I'm thinking, I really wish I had a pad with paddles on the back, for gear changing. But yeah, I don't want one quite as bad as that price is going to be. It's a little bit too much. What, 230 quid?
Yellow flag, yellow flag.
I mean, if it comes down in price, I was prepared to pay 150. Which is what I was kind of hoping it would be. I was expecting it to be around 200. I was hoping it would be 150, and I would have paid 150 for it. But 210, 230, whatever it is, that's too much. It's just it's too much. Can't afford it. Can't justify that amount.
Sounds like we've had a spin.
Do I like to keep a certain amount of money in reserve, especially as you said that finances can be a cause for dismissal? Not always, but it's not necessarily a bad idea. I try not to I try not to put myself into debt unnecessarily. You know, if I'm say 4 or 5 mil short of a facility upgrade,
What was the balance,
then I'll
please?
wait until I've got enough.
Very, very nice job.
Okay, copy that.
I won't just go ahead and there we go. We've got.
How do you feel about doing another lap on this?
We've got Teo maxed out there. Excellent. So we'll let him finish his run. Yeah, I don't just go, oh well, let's just boom, spend it and put myself into debt. Well, the game doesn't actually let you, but if you've got a new staff that you want to hire and you want to do a facility upgrade, I don't do the upgrade and then put myself into debt to swap a driver or do a facility upgrade, and unless I know I'm going to be in a comfortable position to make that money right back. Because if you do go into debt, you can't upgrade any facilities, you can't refurbish any facilities, you can't do any research, you can't manufacture any parts for the car. It's not necessarily a very good place to put yourself. So yeah, I try to keep myself in the black where I can. Okay, so we went 2 clicks that way, didn't we? And that little movement on the cornering broke the cornering. So if I put that back to there and then go back there, that should undo that. Hopefully I've not broken the traction or the oversteer by doing that. Let's change the run plat. Actually no, let's just put on another set of tyres. There we go. I would recommend that you keep a little bit of money back at towards the end of the season. You don't get to carry your balance over fully, but some of it I do think does factor in some of your finishing balance. So it helps having a little bit more cash to pull across at the end of the season.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Because obviously not just that as well, but the last day of the season or the last day of the calendar, the 31st of December is when all contracts that are in their final year expire. So driver contracts, staff contracts, they all end on that day, and everybody is a free agent on that day if their contract was running out in that year. So it's good to have a little bit of cash reserve on hand to make any staffing changes you want, partly for signing on fees, but also you might have to buy out the contract of your existing staff member, depending on who they are and how recently you signed them. So having some cash on hand for that is always a good idea. Plus, don't forget you have to buy your engine for the year at the very start of the season, and that's anywhere between 10 and 20 million depending on who you choose. So you can find yourself in a situation where you go into the next season with
Fantastic.
not enough
Okay,
money,
happy with that.
and you buy your engine, it puts you into debt, and then you've got to wait until probably February at the earliest to get some money back into the coffers, and hope that that's enough to clear whatever negative balance you have, because you can't do any car development during that point. You can't manufacture any parts, you can't design any parts, so you lose an entire month of getting the car developed in the off season, which is, you know, a huge amount of time to lose. You lose an entire ATR period. It just starts and then finishes, and it goes through, and you've got no hours. You've got no money, so you can't use those hours, and then the hours are gone before you know it. So yeah, make sure you have some money at the end of the season.
Fail 84, please. Fail 84.
It just helps reduce helps buffer the expense at the start of the next season a little bit better. Alright, so let's have a look at the end of the session's running order. So Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, Alonso, Hamilton, Bottas, Ocon, Vettel and Russell. So it's the same suspects filling up the top 10. We are going to be dropping ourselves in there. George Russell's been quite low in the last two sessions, in that top 10. So yeah, he could be at risk of not making the final top 10 shootout. We'll see how that goes. Let's swap over some parts. Let's put in a good engine. We want a fast engine for this track, because it is very hard to catch back up if you drop out of DRS on this circuit. Very hard indeed. So we want a really good engine for this one. Let's go with a new gearbox as well. There we go. Take off the cool down lap. Gasly's car. I'm going to go with the 92 engine. That'll be fine. ERS. Swap the units, and we'll stick with that gearbox. 57's fine. So again, we'll take the cool down lap off, and we are ready to go qualifying.
Radio check, can you hear me?
Radio check, okay.
One thing to note when it comes to choosing your engine is that, for obvious reasons, Mercedes can only choose Mercedes engines, Ferrari can only choose Ferrari engines, and Red Bull can only choose the Red Bull powertrain engines. Those are forced choices. The other options are greyed out on those three teams. I don't know about AlphaTauri because I haven't completed the season on AlphaTauri, but if Matthew turns up, you could probably ask him, because I know he's done an AlphaTauri file. Other teams, you obviously have the choice across the four, and it's 10 million for a Williams engine, for a Renault engine, 15 for a Red Bull engine, 20 for Ferrari, and 20 for Mercedes. So if you're going as Red Bull, you're locked into a 15 million engine every year. If you're going as Ferrari or Mercedes, you're locked into a 20 million engine every year. I would imagine Alpine are going to be locked to the Renault engine as well. But Haas, Alfa Romeo, McLaren, Williams, Aston Martin, they should all have free choice. Right, we're going to have to use our tyres very sparingly, because we do only have the two brand new sets for quali. If we make it into Q3, which we should do, then we will get a third set. But I would like to keep one brand new set if I can. I don't know if we're going to be able to or not though. So the rest of the grid's making its way out. Got to wait and leave a little bit of a gap because I don't want to be stuck right behind the slower cars. But by the same token, I don't want to be too far off that I end up not crossing the line with enough time left. Hopefully I've judged that right. Oh, it'd be a disaster if we fail to qualify at our home Grand Prix. I did actually want to go out at the head of the queue, but I didn't react quick enough, and oh, come on, come on, come on. Yes, both drivers crossed the line just in time. Oof, that was squeaky bum time there. Yeah, I was waiting for Ocon to get back into the pits as my kind of signal as to when to go out, and I was just about to start sending my drivers out when I saw a flurry of cars pulling out. I'm like, ugh. Because I haven't done a run yet, I have to wait for clear track. Otherwise I could get stuck behind a slow car and get knocked out. Okay, so we are 4th and 6th after Q1. That is very encouraging indeed. Very encouraging. The only penalty so far is for Zhou Guanyu. Right, we're going to use the same tyres again and try and get through Q2 with the same tyres. So again, it's going to be a single run at the end of the session. This is a little bit more risky for Teo than it is for Pierre, but I think we should be okay.
Radio check. Radio check.
Radio check, okay. Radio check, okay.
Okay, so we'll try and get out just ahead of the queue this time, but if we can't, then yeah, we'll go at the back of the queue again. When I haven't done a banker run at the start of a session, I like to try and get out ahead of the queue at the end of the session, just in case. Not so much of an issue in Q3, but Q2 is obviously a lot more important. Just making sure that you do get through into the top 10. Okay, they're starting to go. I've got to go now. Don't know if I'm going to get my guys out where I want them. Porsche's out. He's out behind a Red Bull. Gasly's out behind Ocon. Ooh, oh, sorry, Albon. That could be a problem. Okay, so I'm going to take manual control of Gasly and try and get him to power through some of those guys there. Hopefully I don't get held up behind Porsche. If anything, I might actually get a slipstream behind Porsche. Okay, there we go, 3rd and 6th. So we're through on those scrub tyres, that's good. Oh, and then we got bumped to 4th. Very close though, at the top of the table. Very close indeed. Right, so we've got one brand new set of tyres, and then we've got a set for the race as well. So we shall go with that set there. Once again, just going to go for a single run because we are short on soft tyres. And we should be able to time it a little bit better this time.
The radio is good. You can hear me, yeah?
Copy.
Did somebody spin out there?
So generally in Q3, the drivers tend to go out a little bit earlier than they would normally in the other sessions. So it gives us a bit more wiggle room at the end of the session, which works for me. And there's less cars as well, which also helps. So you can put a nice big little gap between you and the chasing pack and still get out with plenty of time left on the board. Who's in front? Gasly's in front. Good, good, good. All right, here we go. Gasly's purple in sector 1.
Yellow, yellow.
Seems to have been a lock-up.
Oh, Verstappen locked up. Okay, that's fine. And it wasn't sector 1. Second split coming up at halfway down this straight. It's looking good for Gasly. Can he put in a monster final sector? These slower corners do kill some of our momentum. And Gasly takes pole. Fantastic. And 5th place for Teo. Awesome stuff. Pole position. Those are pretty hard to come by, so very, very happy with that.
The grid is packed and there's electricity in the air. But there's no surprises in that. It's race day.
Seeing how they did in qualifying, Williams are going to be the team to watch here. They'll be starting strong at the top of the grid and will have many opportunities to steer the race in their favour. We saw a reasonably good qualifying performance from Ferrari, and they certainly have a good chance to capitalise during the race. We've been having sunny weather here today, but there are some clouds looming that might complicate things for teams further down the line.
Absolutely right. So brace yourself for a fantastique conclusion to the French Grand Prix.
You can retract your message all you want, Mr. Water. I saw the good de tough that you typed there. Okay, so great result in quali. That's really done us a good load of a load of good, because obviously Pierre can control the pace at the start. Porsche is pretty close to the front as well, 5th. That might be his best quali of the season, I think. Well, at least since the opening round or two. I think starting on mediums is going to be the best option here. If we get a late safety car, we've got a brand new set of softs. I'm just trying to debate whether or not to actually make this a 2-stop. It should be a 1-stop race. I don't think I'm going to have enough pace to compensate for what is a pretty slow pit stop here. If I do go for the extra stop. If I do go, you know, medium, soft. So we'll go medium hard. And we'll do that with both drivers. We'll see if we can get Teo up very quickly. I'm going to put an extra lap of fuel in his car. And I'm going to get him to really push consistently hard at the start. And I'm going to get Pierre to push as well, in the hope that Teo can catch up to him. So I'm not going to push his tyres, I'm just going to push the fuel and his battery. And there we go.
I hope I'm not tempting fate here, but there are quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. There we have Pierre Gasly. They're in pole position, and they've got to be happy about that. And looking at the second Williams car. With a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. Everything's been building to this.
Here we go. Bon chance, mes amis.
This is it. It's time for the French Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
Yeah, that's not great. Losing their position to Hamilton straight away, but we can get that back here. Can we get the Red Bull as well? Red Bulls are starting on hard tyres. Both of them. Ooh, they're going to be fast at the end of the race. We're going to have to watch out for that.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
Come on, Teo. There we go.
Awesome, keep it up.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Yeah, thanks for that, Farah. Jinxing me. Right, need to get Perez here. Gasly sprinting away, but if I can't get Porsche up there quickly to back him up, it's all going to be for nothing. We're not getting a move done here.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
Okay, Gasly's got a 2.5 second lead, so we'll save the rest of his battery. Keep the fuel burning a little bit longer. There we go, up the inside, good move.
job. Recharge on.
Right, I want to sit behind the Ferrari because DRS is about to be switched on.
And DRS enabled.
And then use the straights to try and break away from the Ferrari. Someone's gone wide.
Come on.
And it's Russell.
Let's have a look. Now, just watch the Mercedes here.
Ah,
They're
that's
forced wide,
a bit
and
clumsy.
they won't be happy at all about that.
That did more more harm to the Alpines than it did to him. All right, we've got the move done on Leclerc here. Can I pull away in the second half of the lap?
Doing very well. Come on, keep it up.
Give it everything you got, Teo. Fuel, tyres and battery. I'm going to drop the pace down on Gasly now.
Lift off for the fuel.
If I can't break away, because I might run out of battery before I do get the chance, as long as I can get him close enough to Gasly,
Okay, ciao,
the
John.
two of them can then control the pace at the front of the train. I'm not going to break away here.
No more DRS.
Leclerc's going to come steaming back at me through here. Yeah, I'm not going to break away, so I'm going to save the tyres. I'm going to save the battery. And I'm going to let these guys catch up to Gasly, I think.
Okay, recharge on.
I just didn't have enough battery left to make the break. So we'll stay tucked up behind Leclerc. We'll let him keep overtaking us and leapfrogging. As long as we don't let
Keep your head in the
Perez through, we'll be okay. I'm deliberately keeping Gasly a little bit slower.
And Ferrari just gained a place.
Risk of losing out to Perez through here.
Was that a lock-up on the track?
Big lock up for Zhou. He's dropped himself to the back again. Side by side. He's dropped behind Perez as well. That's not ideal. But I do need to recharge that battery.
Moved up.
We have got a gap to Alonso, so we don't have to worry about that. We've got a 3-second gap to the queue behind. Soul's locked up on the final turn.
It's a spin. Let's
Russell
take a closer
again
look.
having a wobble.
Now let's look at this. Here's George Russell. What a spin!
Oh, that slows down everybody, look.
And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
Russell has been struggling quite a bit this season, I've noticed. He's now back of the grid. He's going to struggle to make his way all the way back up into the points, I think. He might do. I mean, it's a long queue, thanks to that spin condensing everybody and squashing the field a little bit. It's a long queue all the way back up to 9th. He might be okay. Gasly's battery is almost completely fully charged, which is just as well because the train has almost caught him.
Charge off, good job.
Copy.
Alright, so let's see if we can sneak an overtake through this next section.
Overtake available.
Can't get the move done. Back onto recharge again.
On, please recharge on.
Okay, Hamilton's moved himself up to 5th. Gap is still 3 seconds. But Hamilton is pretty quick, especially through the slow stuff. The Mercedes has always been very strong in the slow corners, so yeah, he might start closing up if we can't get these moves done. Let's save that extra fuel now for
Lift
a bit.
and coast required.
We are wearing out the tyres a bit faster by pushing. As a rough idea, when do I consider an engine to be unusable? In terms of racing, it depends. At the start of the season, everybody, AI-wise, tends to use the same engine for the first 5 races. I think sometimes Barcelona as well. It depends whether or not they've had a big crash and they've had to switch an engine. But generally they tend to use their first engine for, at the very least, the first 5 races in a row. So you could use your first engine for the first 5 races in a row, or if you wanted to, most people try and get their first upgrade in around Miami, which is the 5th race. So a good way to score some early points if you're a backmarker team is if you've got a big upgrade, like a new floor coming, which you put a lot of time and resources into, and you get that just in time for the Miami Grand Prix. Pairing that with a brand new engine at Miami is a good way to jump up the grid a little bit, at least for that race, because the AI is using engines that are pretty worn, and depending on how big the boost to your car the new floor is going to give you, then combining that with a brand new engine can see you get points potentially in that race, depending on which team you're using. It's not impossible for an Aston Martin to get points on race 5 using that tactic. Williams probably needs a bit more luck, probably needs a safety car. But as a general rule, it varies on the circuit as to what engine I'll use. So if it's a high power circuit like France,
Yellow,
Monaco, like Monza, like Spa, I will want to use as good an engine as I possibly can for that. So I like to try and keep a brand new engine, or an engine that's barely been touched, for Monza. So an engine that's like 99% or 100%, if I can, keep one of those for Monza, because it is just pretty much flat out the entire circuit. I like to have a brand new engine, or a good new engine for Spa, for the same reason. It's a very, very fast circuit.
Let's go recharge off.
And a lot of it is either full pace or high-speed corners. A circuit like Singapore, you can get away with an engine in the 70% range, although Singapore is a race where the engine penalties do tend to come in for the AI, so you can find quite a lot of penalties popping up in practice on that one, and then a lot of teams bring in a brand new engine to that one. So it's a risk taking a worn engine there, but it's not so bad. Any circuit where you've got less dependence on power, you can get away with using a more worn engine, but generally you don't want to be using a race that's below 70% for racing, with a couple of exceptions. Ideally you don't want to go below 70%. It depends whether you're trying to make those engines last, or whether you're prepared to, bite the bullet and take the penalty and pay the $1 million for a fresh engine. That's why I like to get the engine penalties out the way, where I know I can capitalise on moving back up through the field. So I try and take them at places like Canada and Austria earlier in the season, so that I've got the extra engine later in the season, and I don't have to take a penalty to use it, because I've already got those penalties out of the way. So when the AI drop a new engine in and they take that penalty, I can stick the same brand new engine in that's done one run in a qualifying session, so it's at 99%, and I've already served a penalty for it, and I've got the same benefit effectively as the AI putting in a new engine, but without the grid penalty. So I get that extra power, but they have to drop down the order and I don't.
You've got energy to push.
Teo.
Okay, recharge on. Overtake available.
I'm not going to get the move done there. Let's go back to neutral. Get to the point where my mediums are starting to struggle a little bit against Perez's softs. Another rule of thumb is it depends, when it comes to engines, is it depends what you're fighting for as well. I mean, if you're in the bottom half of the grid and you're fighting to try and get into the top 10, as your target, and you're trying to get a few points, have a look at the table, have a look at the constructors table. If you are in a position where you don't
Press
really
and hold
need
overtake now, please. Press and hold
a
overtake
points
now.
finish, and you can take that risk of running a weaker engine, why not? If you're in a title fight, sometimes it's not worth running the weaker engine. Sometimes it's worth just taking a penalty and taking a brand new engine. It all depends on what's in play. Are you desperately fighting for as many points as possible because you're in a tight constructors battle? Are you hunting down a championship leader in the drivers' standings? You have to take those things into consideration as well. If there's not a lot to play for, if you're a team that can just about make the points every now and again, and you are comfortably clear of the team below you in the constructors, and along, quite a way behind the team in front of you, you don't really have a lot to play for. So, points are nice, but they're not going to dramatically change anything in the standings. Situations like that, you can get away with using a weaker engine, because it isn't going to affect your season objective or where you're going to finish in the constructors.
Good job with everything so far. Okay, it's recharge on.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
Okay, Gasly's just been cruising around at the front here. They haven't gotten to his DRS once. We're 12 laps in now, so he's had, what, 9 laps of just cruising around, 8 laps of just cruising around like this. Just like 1.3, 1.2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Oh, Ferrari with a lunge there.
Nicely done. Okay, buddy, no worries.
Ferrari, advance the race position. Sounds like someone's
It's
locked
like, I mean,
up.
if you saw our Haas playthrough on Friday, where we were in Brazil, no, it wasn't Brazil, was it? Yeah, it was Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and I'd got a new engine that I was using, which I'd already taken the penalty for, but I deliberately took an engine penalty and put a brand new engine in Piastri's car, even though I could have got away with not using it because I was in that fight with Mercedes for third spot in the championship, and I wanted to try and make sure, you know, that we maximised our point scoring opportunities. And so if I'd run a weaker engine, there was a chance that we might not have got very many points at all, if any, in that race. And I wanted that third place finish. So we've got 1 race left in that season, and we've got a nice little buffer of points now. In that situation, because I had something to fight for, something in play, I decided it was better to, you know, use a brand new, or as close to brand new engine as I possibly could, because I wanted that full power. If I was a long way behind Mercedes, I wouldn't have bothered with that extra engine. I'd have just used a more worn engine, because we were comfortably ahead of, you know, the team in 5th, and we were massive amounts of points behind, you know, Red Bull and Ferrari. So if we weren't in that tight fight with Mercedes, I'd have just used a lesser engine.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
This is a little frustrating every time we get to a position where we might be able to make a push. It takes us too long to actually get into a position where we can try and sprint away. And so we have to charge the battery back up, and every time we do that, we immediately drop to the back of the slip of train again. I'm a little frustrated here. But we're still in contention with Teo. I mean, if we could get a 1-2 here, that would be incredible.
So we'll go recharge off.
And that is still very much a possibility right now. I'm quite happy that they haven't caught Gasly. You know, keeping him a couple of seconds ahead of this three-way fight means that he doesn't run the risk of being, you know, dragged in and dropped all the way back to 3rd or 4th. Right, let's see. How far away are we from pit stops? 7 laps away. We'll bring Porsche in early, a lap or so. I might even extend Gasly a little bit. Might stretch him by an extra lap or two. Fresh tyres make a huge difference on this track, so I don't want to leave it too long. What sort of gap have we got to drop into? Leader, there we go. So, the pit stop for Gasly is going to bring him out here, around Sonoda. So what tyres is everyone on around here? Mediums, they're going to have to pit again. We'll come out behind Ocon, who will be harder to get past. RICARD and Bottas should jump out of the way relatively quickly, and then we'll have Albon and Verstappen to fight through. And then again, by the time we get here, Alonso, Hamilton, Sainz, they will have pitted. Ooh, someone's had a spin. Is that Russell again?
Oh, there's a spin!
No, it's Bottas this time.
We can take a look now. Now we see Valtteri Bottas.
Oh, that's a big
That
spin.
looked like a very nasty spin.
Okay, so that's one less car to worry about in that respect, but it's slightly damaged his tyres a little bit as well, but that is now going to drop him right in that window of cars that we're going to be coming up against when we pit. Waiting for that pit stop now. Not a lot we can do in this situation except just be patient. We are on lap 17 and they still haven't reeled in Gasly. I am very surprised by that, I have to say. I do think we are running fresher engines than the AI. Porsche wouldn't normally be this high up the grid. You know, despite the fact that this car is well suited to quite a bit of the track, our straight line speed, our top speed isn't great. It's middle of the pack, and it's probably quite significantly slower than the Red Bull, which is always the fastest car on the straight line. So they must be running older engines than us. Right, pit window's about to open. And there we go, those pit window for both drivers open now. Let's try and force the issue a little bit.
Let's pick our pace up, let's go. Okay, let's box at the end of this lap, please.
Right, yeah. The AI is definitely picking the pace up a little bit. They have suddenly, gained a second over Gasly, who's not made a mistake. They've just upped their pace, which means they are getting close to their pit stops. I've noticed they do tend to up their pace a little bit when they're close to a pit stop. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to box Teo this lap, not next lap.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
And I'm going to box Gasly at the end of the lap he's just started. I want that tyre advantage. I want the chance to try and break away.
Push now, push now.
Copy.
Only can use the deploy.
Okay, so where are we coming out? We've got out ahead of Bottas. That was important. That was
Try
very
to cool down the
important.
tires again when you can. Cool down the tires where you can.
Copy.
Right. Gasly on his in lap.
Need to drop the pace.
Yeah. Yeah, in the box.
Confirmed.
Okay, so another good stopper needed. If I've judged this correctly, Porsche should be coming out, or should be going by just as Gasly comes out of the pits.
Awesome, keep it up.
Beautiful. There we go. Both of our guys in sequence with each other. That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Recharge on, please. Recharge on.
So now we can really capitalise when these other medium runners start to pit. Keep our guys together. And then they can leapfrog each other with DRS when they get into clear air. And hopefully pull away from Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, etc. Unfortunately, we've got this queue of traffic in front of us that we've got to deal with first. And of course, two of them are hard ones, aren't they? Okay, when's the AI going to blink? Perez and Leclerc are both going around for another lap. Alonso and Hamilton are pitting, so we might see Ricciardo pit here. That would be helpful. And Ricciardo dives off the pits. Excellent stuff. So that's 3 cars that were in our way, out of the way. Vettel pits as well.
Ricciardo in the pit lane. Ricciardo in the pit lane.
Right, now we need to clear these guys ASAP.
So a recharge off.
Overtake available.
Okay.
Yeah, find a way through. There we go, up the inside. Great move. Brave move to make that overtake there.
Good job, Pierre.
Porsche also dives up the inside. Beautiful.
Overtake available.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
Nicely done.
Right, Leclerc and Sainz both in the
Looks
pits.
like a
Oh,
good
Ferrari
move
double
for
stacking.
Williams.
Let's go recharge on.
Right, we get ahead of the Ferrari with both of our cars. That's good. I was hoping we could have got clear.
Williams there gaining several places in one go.
And Albon, but that hasn't happened.
You've got energy to push.
Need to clear him here. He's not getting past. And now the Ferrari's just going to cut through the pair of them. God damn.
Ferrari advance the race
Right.
position.
That's Albon. I'm going to have to sit behind Leclerc now.
Good job. Excellent job.
Get that battery recharged.
Recharge back on, please. Recharge on.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
And then try and sprint away. Into the back of Gasly.
Very good lap.
Neither Red Bull pitting yet. They are both on hard tyres, so it'll be a little while yet before they pit. And it does mean they are going to be very pacey at the end of the Grand Prix. I've got to be careful not to overburn my tyres here.
Can we do lift and coast?
The 1-2 is still on. We are currently a net P1, P3. Once you take the Red Bull pits into account. I think this would be our first 1-2 as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, Porsche's only had the one podium and that was his win. Alright, let's get this move done. There we go. Good lad. Now sprint. We've got a 2-second gap to close.
Charge on. Charge on.
Okay.
We need a
Let's,
little bit more lift off, please.
Slow Gasly down to make it a little bit easier on Teo. Just need to make sure I can get out of DRS range, if at all possible, with Leclerc. I'm going to do it before the start-finish straight. But maybe through the first sector if I get a good enough clean run. Okay, we're on the back of Teo. Teo's on the back of Gasly.
Let's lift off, please.
Excellent stuff. So, let's get Gasly to sprint now as well.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Copy.
Nah, we're not going to get him. Ferrari's too close. Keep pushing. Maybe we can get lucky. I'm almost out of battery with Teo. Almost out of battery with Gasly as well, for that matter. That's it. It's the end of Porsche's battery.
DRS disabled.
Come on, we're so close. 8.5 tenths. It's not enough. We can't break it. Damn, so close. So close.
And keep an eye on your battery.
Yeah.
All right. So it's just going to be a three-way train at the front
I
here.
think there's been a lock-up.
Schumacher's locked up on turn
there.
7.
Right, watch this. There's
Completely
Schumacher.
on his own there, and just
That
looks up
lock-up
and
could
cuts
have
the
cost them
chicane.
dearly.
Oh, a big comedy bumps
Oh,
there.
the team had such high hopes today. What a shame.
That was a bit comical. Right, so Gasly is currently in P2, so we can get him harvesting as well.
Charge on. Charge on.
Let's
Copy.
save that extra fuel.
Lift and coast required.
As long as we run 1-2 like this, we should be able to block the Ferrari from making a move. And as soon as I say that, the Ferrari makes a move and splits the bearings. Now, that would have worked if we weren't charging our batteries. Well, I can live with the Ferrari in the lead. Once I got my batteries charged up, I can turn my tyre wear pace down a little bit and should still be able to stay with it. And then we can hopefully have a bit of a tyre advantage, at least with Gasly. Porsche has pushed his tyres hard, so...
Ferrari advance the race position.
52%. These Red Bulls are going to be pitting soon. Next 3 or 4 laps, I would imagine. I had hoped we'd be able to sprint away from the Ferrari before then, but that's not going to happen. One more lap of charging. Then we can turn the tyre pace down a little bit. I forgot that we pitted a few laps ahead of Leclerc, so he already has a tyre advantage over us, so if we can ease our tyres back towards his in terms of wear rate, we can at least try and level the playing field a bit so that he doesn't have a tyre advantage over us in the closing stages. I am kind of hopeful that we will still get a late safety car. Give me the chance to bolt on some fresh mediums or fresh softs and pull away nicely. I'm a little concerned that the Red Bulls might try and stretch their hards and go for a set of softs at the end rather than mediums. That would make them very quick. And we're lapping about a second a lap faster than them at the moment. That can change very quickly.
Let's go recharge off, recharge off.
Okay, you can go charge off.
Yeah.
2 laps, I think, we'll start to see the Red Bulls pit if they're going to go mediums. If they go longer than that, they're probably going for the softs. Now that we're back in neutral deploy mode, we should have a bit more pace and be a bit more threatening to the
Nice
Ferrari
job.
as well, as evident by Porsche getting past.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
And there's Perez into the pit, so he must be going mediums, surely. 22 more laps. It's got to be a set of mediums, it can't be softs, surely not. So Verstappen's going to pit next lap then. He's gone mediums, yeah, and he's come out behind Sainz, so that helps. I mean, he should get past the Ferrari and then pull away, but at least it slows him down a little bit. Verstappen's gearbox is down to 29%. Can this happen, i.e. faulty part, or is it a bug? It can happen if he's shunted, been shunted by someone, or if he's hit the wall, you know, spun out and the back of his car's hit the wall. That can damage the gearbox. The Red Bull is particularly hard on ERS units, I think, as opposed to the gearboxes. I think it's not too bad wear rate on the gearboxes, so he's probably had a crash somewhere or been crashed into. And there's Verstappen into the pit. So Porsche inherits the lead of the Grand Prix. Verstappen's almost certainly going for mediums as well. Leclerc swoops by.
Okay, so let's keep going.
And Verstappen's going to come out behind Alonso and Albon.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained
And
a
Ocon.
place.
And he has also got mediums. So I'm not so worried about Verstappen because he's way down in 10th right now, but Perez is definitely going to be a threat. See what lap time does he do. There's the gap as well. The gap is only 6.5 seconds. It's not enough. I think Perez is going to be our biggest threat in this race. I just got this feeling that he's going to drag Sainz into the fight as well. the pace of his mediums.
Awesome, keep it up.
Yeah, he did a 34.4. We did a 35.3. He's almost a second a lap faster.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
That's a worry.
No lift and coast required from our side at the moment.
I'm going to have another try at getting past and getting away from Science.
Only can use the deploy.
Copy.
This was good.
Man, 3 wide through the chicane. That's never good. But we pulled it off. Gasly went around the pair of them.
Okay, buddy, you're doing a great job here. Keep it up.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
That was a very good lap.
Please drop Leclerc. Come on, boys.
We need to push.
I really didn't want to have to push the tyres as well, but I think I might have to.
Okay, push. Let's go.
We didn't get the pass, and we needed that DRS pass. I've got a lap and a half left, I think, and maybe just a lap of pushing before I run out of battery. Once again, we're not quite there. We're so close. This is it. This is the last lap I can push. Alright, we've got a 1 second now. It's going to come down a bit. Come on, Teo. Push with everything you've got. Gap is 7/10. Oh, god damn, we just can't get away from him.
Let's go for it.
Copy.
This is my last opportunity to sprint away from him.
No more DRS.
I've killed the battery. It's all down to tyres and fuel now. Alright, that's 1 second, almost. Keep it going, keep it going. Oh, that lack
Only
of
keep an
little
eye on the
battery is
tire
just...
temperatures.
Ah,
We will
he's
keep an eye on tire
got back in.
temperatures.
Or has he? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, copy.
It's going to be touch and go. I think we might just have made it. Damn it, he got DRS. Of course he did. I pushed these tyres so hard now, I've got no choice but to
Give
bring
us a
these
bit more
guys in
lift off,
again.
please.
Yeah.
These tyres won't last now.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please. Okay, recharge on, recharge on.
Alright. Kind of screwed myself a little
Need to
bit
drop the
here.
pace.
Yeah.
Trying to get away from Leclerc and not being able to.
Charge on for now.
We are going to get a huge pace advantage on new softs. But I've got to time it just right, making the pit stops. If I pit too soon, then they're going to wear out too early. If I pit too late, I'm not going to have enough time to make up the ground. I'm going to lose by making the extra pit stop. Got to get at least a little bit of battery in the car. Right, there we go. Strategy is set.
Currently P3.
Ferrari, advance the race position.
Box.
I'm losing so much time to Perez now. Destroyed these these hards. Massive deficit to Leclerc in tyres as well now. I'm going to come out behind Alonso. I'm going to come out in 8th place. But I am going to be quick. Question is, am I going to be quick enough? If we don't win this race, it's down to my fault. pushing too hard, trying to break away from Leclerc when I should have just
We've
probably
just
stayed,
had a car run wide.
stayed neutral. Right. Porsche back in play. 24 seconds behind. 20 seconds behind Perez. That's a big gap. Ferrari and Red Bull
Keep
are
an
much
eye on the
together,
fuel, please.
the others falling behind. Yeah, it'll be like that for the first few races of your first season.
Charge off.
Copy. Yeah, in the box.
Copy that. Stop the lift off turn 1, please.
Copy.
Alright, well at least my guys are with each other here.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Copy.
Time for the soft tyre leapfrog.
Can we do lift and coast?
It's going to be a very nervous final 12 laps. Perez did drag Sainz all the way along with him as I expected him to. So that's 3 cars I'm going to have to fight if I, if and when I get past Verstappen. Good news is we are absolutely steaming up onto the back of Hamilton and Alonso here. Verstappen's only an extra 3.5 seconds of the road. Oh! Taylor's spun into the wall. That's his race ruined. There goes the 1-2.
Sounds like a spin.
Luckily,
Here's
he
the
didn't
replay.
actually hit the wall
Now
by the
we
look of
see
it.
the Williams here.
But he did a Charles
They
Leclerc.
lose it there. That's the spin.
Yeah, no damage. Thank God for that. What did he do to his tyres? Wore them a little bit. It's not great. try and get him to close back up onto Gasly. He's lost 5 seconds from that spin. And that's now hampered Gasly as well, because Gasly now doesn't have anyone to leapfrog with him. We were looking comfortable. But you had to go and jinx me for it. Curse you. Okay, let's see. Gasly is up on the back of Alonso and Hamilton.
Overtake available, overtake available.
Let's try and punch through the pair of these guys here. Didn't get either of them in the end. On the exit here, maybe. Nope. Yeah, there we go. That's Alonso.
I'm just all over the place.
And that's
DRS
Hamilton.
disabled, DRS disabled.
Good job. Only can use the deploy.
Copy.
Yeah, the wind's gone. I can't make up. I can't make up 17. No, not 17. 15 and a half seconds. In the remaining 8 laps. So I think 4th is the best I can get. Threw away a win here. But we'll get the points the fastest lap. We'll get 2 cars in the points. We'll keep the sponsors happy. But it could have been and should have been so much better.
Very good luck.
It's not completely over. If we get a late safety car now, that changes everything. if it's going to be a late safety car, it needs to happen in the next lap or two. Otherwise I'm not going to have enough laps to make the overtake. And this is why Porsche is becoming a liability. He doesn't have the pace to support Gasly. We do not have a car that should be able to win the World Championship. We do not have a car that should be able to win or be in the hunt for winning the Constructors' Championship. But Gasly is performing superbly, and he just doesn't have the support he needs. If we had two equal talent drivers in the car, they could back each other up, they could break away, they could control races, you know, when we have a car that's capable of winning. I'm going to replace Teo with Norris. It's just a question of when that happens. I know Norris might not seem like a great idea given how he's been consistently outperformed by Ricciardo this season, but Norris is a phenomenal driver. I put him in the car with Gasly. I think Gasly might actually outpace him slightly to start with, but once I start training Norris the way I want him,
6 more laps.
He'll be a monster. I saw a yellow flag briefly flash up then. I got all my hopes up thinking we've got a safety car coming, but nope. Just a little run wide for Alonso.
Let's go recharge on. Good job, let's keep it up.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Five more laps.
Copy.
Okay, good job.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
You can go recharge off if you want.
Alright, there we go. That's Verstappen dealt
Okay,
with.
that's good, very good. Charge off.
Yeah.
too late for safety cars to help us now. I've got to hope for a crash now from one of the front three to get on the podium.
Four more laps, 4 more laps. Okay, charge John.
Okay.
Okay, that's good, Pierre, very good. Charge off.
Okay.
Porsche's just dropping further and further behind now. So 4th and 6th. And we should have had the win and potentially a 1-2. I definitely played this the wrong way. Going medium hard was a sound strategy, but I shouldn't have pushed the tyres the way I did. As soon as I did that, you know,
3 more laps.
as soon as I
three more
couldn't
laps.
break away from Leclerc, I shouldn't have tried again. I kept it going and I just melted the tyres.
So we keep focusing on the pace.
We would have been sitting ducks for
Red Bull
all three
gained
of the
place.
front three. Without, you know, if we'd stayed out on those hard tyres, even if I had just, you know, dropped their pace down and tried to conserve what was left of them, we wouldn't have been able to keep the pace through the corners and would have lost the DRS, and that, yeah, would end up, you know, dropping back into the clutches of Verstappen anyway. So at least this way we guaranteed we got the fastest lap. But yeah, this is one that got away from us.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Break away from Verstappen.
Okay.
You're doing a good job.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
We need a little bit more lift off if you can, please. We need a little bit more.
Yeah, okay.
One more lap. One more lap. Okay, look after the battery, Pierre, we're very low now.
Copy.
No more DRS.
There we
Perez
go.
has crossed the line first. Let's take a look at the replay. Sergio Perez there, picking up the win.
Oh, that was a close
Without
finish.
doubt, a stellar performance, something that'll be seen as a real highlight this season.
Porsche crosses the line in 6th, so 4th and 6th, not bad, not great. I'd be going into this race, I'd have been happy with 4th and 6th, but
That's the check flag.
yeah, given where we qualified and where we were running and where we should have finished, 4th and 6th just feels a bit anticlimactic, unfortunately.
Looks like there's been a lock-up. A wonderful result here for the Williams driver. A very impressive showing today for Williams.
Indeed, the team has demonstrated technical skill as well as a great deal of heart. They can be really proud of their efforts this weekend.
At the end of the weekend, it's second place in the constructor standings for them.
Next round, we're moving on to an exhilarating circuit. Formula One will be taking to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Hungary. The halfway point of the season. Right, so Perez picks up the win. Leclerc second, Sainz third, Gasly fourth, but with fastest lap. Gets him the bonus points, so 13 points there. Max fifth, Teo 6th, Alonso 7th, Lewis 8th, Russell manages to recover to 9th, Vettel 10th. The Alpines not so much of a threat. I thought they were going to be a bit pacier in this race. Bottas had a bad one. That spin certainly didn't help him. He finished in 12th. Looking down to the bottom of the grid, Mick bringing up the rear, Lando all the way down in 19th. I don't know what went on for him this weekend. Does seem to be struggling. I'm wondering if Daniel's been given the better car this year between the two. We'll check that out in a moment. In terms of the drivers, we lose ground to both of the Ferrari drivers. Our gap is now 29 points. Teo loses ground to Perez with that big 25-point win. But we do pull out some more points on Lewis. So that gap's now up to 18 points. In the constructors, Ferrari extend their gap up to 60 points now ahead of us, and Red Bull gain 14 points on us, so we have a 36 point gap to Red Bull now. Mercedes only picking up 6 points, Alpha with 6 points, Alpine pick up a single point. Yeah, Mercedes just not with it this season at all. Solid points haul for Teo, 2,000 points, but it's not enough to give him a new development point. We do get one for Gasly though, and no points for Logan because we didn't run him. Still, we made money with our sponsors. We completed the quali streak. We achieved our incentives, and more importantly, we achieved all of our guarantees as well, so we didn't lose money for failing those. So that gets us 6.3 mil in the bank, which is very much needed. Our boardroom has been upped and improved. Our front wing research is done. And we do actually have a point for Teo. He's picked up some passive points by the look of it. So let's boost his reactions. Gasly, boost his reactions. That boosts his rating to an 86 overall. Logan, no point for Logan still. Check our staff. We're a little way off points for some of these guys. Got 19 mil in the bank now. Excellent. We can finally go ahead. Oh, let's see. Do I do that, or do I? That might be more important actually to refurb the factory. Or upgrade the factory. It is taking a bit of a beating. Let's do that. Let's upgrade the factory. It needs it. The design, we probably won't get the chance to upgrade the design centre this year. Maybe towards the end of the year. Staff facilities, the race simulator definitely needs a refurb as well. That thing is dipping. We'll give it another week or two before we do that though. Everything here is okay. Hospitality area is still 45 days away from that upgrade. Not going to drop another upgrade on the weather centre just yet. Helipad's going to need a quick touch up soon. That's quite cheap. Memorabilia room's fine. Tour centre will potentially need a touch up. I might not do that though. I might let that go. Let's take a look at the cars. So we just finished a new research project. So let's take a look at doing a front wing maybe, or a suspension hasn't been done yet. I kind of want to leave the suspension until late in the season because we can still potentially drop suspension upgrades onto the car. What's my braking performance like at the moment? It's pretty poor. Yeah, I'm going to design a new suspension. So we're going to put the focus into optimized cooling, and that's actually going to hurt the car. How is that? Let me have a look. What chassis? Suspension. So maybe I could do a new front wing instead. Let's look at designing a new front wing. If I optimise the cooling, it doesn't really give me as much as I would like. Which of my facilities is better boosted? Oh, they're both the same. I think the suspension will give me better brake cooling in general. I think it was a 69.46. I'm going to boost the low speed potentially as well. No, that's not really going to do much. Okay, we definitely need to work on low speed cornering, because that is definitely hurting us. But that's a not insignificant increase in our brake cooling there, 4.5%. It'll help with the lockups that we've been suffering. Let's go with the 2 engineers we've got. We'll go intense to boost the expertise, and we'll get that in 28 days, which will be in time for Spa. Okay, there we go. So that's the car part bit done. I want to do car analysis. I want to change team. I want to take a look at McLaren. So I want to see oop, damn it. I think they're running identical cars. They are, so for whatever reason, Daniel's just outperforming Lando right now, which you just don't see very often, you know, in the game. That's a bit of a surprise. I wonder if he has low morale. I wonder if that's affecting. I mean, I don't think it does. I mean, as far as I know, morale only affects the ability to sign someone for a contract, so it can't be that. He is still not interested. He has a negative outlook towards the team still. But this is what makes him such a beast. His 91 braking stat, combined with an excellent control, good accuracy, strong reactions and cornering, and you boost up the cornering and reactions on top of his 91 braking, he becomes an absolute beast. And he's 23, so he still has a positive growth potential delta. He has plenty of years left in him before he starts to, his growth potential declines to a point where you start losing XP. And he's a British driver for a British team. So we need to work on improving the team's reputation a little bit before we can get him to sign for us. Best way to do that is to upgrade our facilities that boost our team attractiveness. Our team hub's going to need a revamp soon as well. That's not so good. So we've got the upgrade going through for the hospitality area. That's a big upgrade for that. That's going to double the team attractiveness in terms of points and give an extra 5% bonus on top. The memorabilia room would give us a little boost. It's 1.1 mil. That'll give us an extra 5 points on the attractiveness. What about popping the board? That would only affect the board confidence. Helipad's already maxed. We need to refurb that. I'm gonna have to refurb the team hub as soon as that goes down. That's gonna cost 3 mil. A lot of expensive refurbishments taking place this season. So yeah, there's nothing more I can do really, apart from maybe upgrading the memorabilia room. How long would that take? 9 days. That's pretty quick. Because it's so quick, we're going to wait and see what happens with the hospitality upgrade. Plus, obviously we'll have to refurb our team hub. So we'll hang on to those, and we won't do any upgrades until that happens, or any more upgrades. And maybe that'll be enough to, you know, enough eyelid fluttering in the direction of Lando Norris to actually get him interested. Right, debriefing time. So engine cooling could be better. Well, brake cooling is more important than engine cooling, I think. Especially seeing as our thermal wear is pretty good on this car. No, it's not so good on this car, is it? It's pretty weak. Maybe we should work on a side pod next. Board are happy. We exceeded their expectations. Front wing, we've dealt with the front wing. Upcoming board review in 7 days. So once we complete the Hungarian Grand Prix tomorrow, we will have our mid-season board review. Speaking of the board, there is their upgrade. So they get a nice little boost. And that's it for that. Let's advance some time. Let's check in with the board. Another delighted to the results. Happy with progress. We've already achieved our long-term objective. 12 races now in a row we've scored points. We are on target to score points in every single race this season. Happy with finances. That little bit of debt when we bought some new engines back in May. But apart from that, we are good. No debt since then. One last little quick look at the staffing. Yep, we are good there. Let's see what shape our car is in going into this Grand Prix. Have we dipped any further? We have dipped a little bit in medium speed cooling, medium speed dirty air cornering, I think. 11th and 9th now in terms of speed. What upgrades do I actually have? I know I've got a rear wing on the way. What else is on the way? A new suspension. And we're researching an underfloor. Ideally I could do with doing another underfloor, but I'm not going to get it until late in the season, so it's probably a little bit too late for that now. I think what we'll do with the next ATR period is a big front wing upgrade. That'll improve our cornering speed. It'll improve our brake cooling. It won't necessarily do a lot for our straight line top speed, but I'm hoping the rear wing will give that a nice sizable boost. The suspension will help a little bit, and that'll certainly help with our brake cooling as well. If we can get the brake cooling under control, because that is pretty bad, then that gives us that gives us a bit more control in the corners, so we'll lock up a lot less. We should hopefully spin out a bit less, and if we do lock up, they should be much smaller lockups as well. That's kind of the hope. But with a braking of 9 out of 10 cars, is where we're ranked. It's not great. It needs to be improved. So that's why we're doing the suspension upgrade at the moment. I will do another research project when the suspension is done, and when the rear wing finishes. If we've got an ATR period available, which I think we will, we'll go straight into the front wing project. Once we've done the front wing, we will probably do a side pods to try and improve our engine cooling. That'll also give us a little bit of drag reduction on that as well, so that'll again help improve our straight line top speed a little bit more as well. So got a little bit of a roadmap for the next few updates on the car. We do need to keep on top of the research because there are reg changes coming next season which are going to hit us a little bit hard. So we do need to be wary of that. But yeah, not a bad result, all things told. It could have been better. We were on for the win. We were potentially on for a 1-2. I messed up the strategy horribly by pushing when I didn't need to push. I could have just sat there and waited and then just pushed at the very end to break away, or at least take the positions and then try and hold them. That's my bad. I'll remember that for next season when we return to France again. It is one of those really tricky circuits where it can be a problem. Hungary, though, could potentially be good for us. Again, there's some interesting cornering sections on that. There's some very nasty slow stuff which will hurt us. But the whole middle sector of the Grand Prix, of the lap, is medium and high speed corners, where we are pretty decent. So we could do quite well. Again, I don't think the win is going to be something that we can really aim for without a safety car. I think the Red Bull is going to be too strong for us here. Maybe the Ferrari as well. But I think we can certainly fight for getting Pierre onto the podium, and getting Teo somewhere in the points. So we shall see how we do tomorrow. I'll be back at the usual time, 10:30 PM UK time. If you have enjoyed the stream, as always, please do consider dropping a like, and I will see you all again tomorrow for round 13 at the Hungaroring. Bye for now.